Medea rising. When she first appears, I recognize only her wild hair, which circles round her face like a blue fire. And her face has become a mask of eye holes and mouth holes, from which a sinister iris opens with its blue and yellow tongue. She says, "Don't look at that." And suddenly she is wearing a raincoat, holding 2 grocery bags, and the sacks are loaded with eggs, potatoes, pork chops, a violent purple eggplant. She waves her hand, and I see her riding a bus through rain, through the outskirts. She is pressing her face to the glass, which resembles a tenderness. She is holding something green between her fingers, a kind of nascent web, like the ghost grass of spring. She wants me to know this is how it begins, a growing like kudzu over the ordinary garages, the mailboxes. She shows me a box which opens in her chest. Inside, a fledgling, already fierce and wild, some kind of goshawk or marsh hawk, with gold dopplering the edges of its fluffy wings. She wants me to know this was what she saw, an egg of fire with a winged heart inside it, her mistake in believing her own fearlessness. Medea talks about the weather. The sun comes out and the soul misses the storm clouds. All day, gathering, hovering, as if a ceiling was about to break. The sky split like a finger sliced by glass, a sluicing, something born. Instead, the normal cottonwoods with their sinister water smell. And why sinister? When in a desert you learn, find the cottonwoods, and you find the water you need to fill your humble tin cup. But who doesn't secretly love the storm? The idea that even the roof over your head might be lifted and swirled. She tells me this was her sin, her grief. She wanted it all to burn, but after, the ashes on her eyelashes and tongue, no, even the palms of her hands, the simple objects of day telling her she was dust, or worse, the worm mouth, ever open, digesting the world, reducing it to pulp. Was this necessary? She wonders at her own story, fingering its threads as she rides the late bus across town. Conscious she is old, a sack of brittle bone inside a furred red cloak that is torn now, like a mouth that has dared to speak whatever it wished once too often. She can't remember his face or how his steely eyes turned her to lava, a finger breaking the sky into 2 parts that would never meet. Only silver, rain, the promise of a love that would end time. Our stars. I tell her, listen, I was always timid. Not timid, she says, ashamed. I look at her in her ragged red dress, her bare feet and cracked toes. Her eyes so ravenous, I look away. But even when I brush past, even when I mutter, "You don't understand," she clings to me like the smoke of a charred meat, goat maybe, roasted in a pit with branches of oregano, burning their green into the blackened bits of wood left on the ground. Watch my lips, she says. She says, no safety. And I think of how in the night I have hugged myself. So lonely, I felt like a blade of the moon some sort of chipped metal, a mezzaluna over a board of onion, skin, and tears. All she would like me to do is sit down with her at a table and drink stewed tea in the bleach of morning. All she cares about is that I acknowledge the brutal stars of love, the way we're nothing without them, breathing as we do so briefly under their long dead lights.